Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jeff, and I'm doing my day trading recap. Today is Wednesday, October 30th. Man, I don't even know what day it is, but yeah. So I traded AMD and EMPH. I traded AMD at the open for a 5-minute opening range breakup. But before I wanted to get started, I wanted to show you why it's important to find these pre-market levels. Man, these things surely do work like magic. So as you can see, this was pre-market lows at the time, pre-market highs right here. But as you can see, from where the price action was when I was doing my levels, it was right around this level here. You can see that it's pretty extended, kind of far from that pre-market low, right? So I found these areas where they were consolidating or areas they were bouncing off of the price action. So as you can see here was rejecting this level here, right? Rejecting for about 20 minutes, and then it breaks out. It breaks out. These dotted lines here are the previous day close. Bounces off that area, comes back, retests the scene of that breakout. So that's an important level there. So that's why I got that level. And then bounces, comes back to the previous day close right at the open. And then I want you to notice what happens at the open here. So right at the open, you get that area where it was literally at previous day close right here, and then you have this massive drop right here at that level that I found. You see that? As you can see, this thing dropped, but it was on a lighter volume, which is odd, right? And it bounced and it started to come back towards VWAP. It rejected VWAP, but was still making higher lows, rejecting VWAP. And once it reclaimed VWAP, I took it long there with my stop, literally the low of that candle, 1 cent below that candle. As you can see on the 5 minute, it got in probably like a minute earlier before the actual 5 minute candle formed, but it made such good entry right at VWAP. So as you can see, opening range, right there. You know, you take your entry right around VWAP. You could have taken it here. I took it here and set your stop, the break of that if you took it at orb. But I took it right here. My stop was right there. As you can see, this thing came down and literally 1 cent above my stop. So it didn't wick me out. I got lucky on that one. And then it ended up working in my favor. Then as you can see, I have this 33, 37 level, around the 30s levels, kind of like a general area where you could potentially be a profit target, right? As you can see, I was taking profits on the way up. I took majority of my shares around 33.30. And the reason why is, as you can see, if I zoom out on the 5 minute chart, this was like pre-market highs where it was kind of having a hard time breaking. You see that there around 33.30. So yeah, that was my trade on AMD. I left a few shares there to kind of see, if this thing could potentially trend. It didn't, and I got stopped out all out at breaking. So that was a nice little winner on AMD. The next trade I took was also on AMD, but this one was a reversal play. So as you can see, I'm working on reversals here, trying to add that to my playbook. So bear with me here as I pull this up. There you go. So yes, as you can see, so I got in right here. Um, I saw in the 5 minute right here, it was formed this beautiful hammer, good volume. Volume's a lot higher than the previous candles. So I thought this was going to be a good little reversal play here. Also on the 15, I saw this hammer candle forming. Didn't quite let that candle form, and I can see how I got in a little bit prematurely, but that's okay. So I took it long right there in anticipation of the break of that 20 moving average, and I set my stop right there, and I got stopped out. So that was a loser on that. But then I seen it bounced, then reclaimed the 20 moving average like I was expecting it to, and then I went long with my stop right there, literally tight stop, and instantly got my 2 to 1, and I took I where did it go here 2 to 1, and I literally clicked it, put a range order, and I took profits on the way up right there. So for 2 to 1, and then I realized, man, I got out way too early, and then I started seeing this ABCD pattern forming here, right on the one right here. So I took another stab at it. I went long right when it broke that. Also, I noticed on the level two on the ask there was huge orders in the 70s area down here that were just getting ready to be filled, and that gave me a bullish indication, and that's why I took it long. And as you can see, this thing just ripped up, and yeah, this thing ended up working in my favor. Um, just taking partials on the way up, and then I got all out. I had a hard stop at 32.70. It stopped, but then I noticed again there's this key level here, and this level is 2 days ago's low. It was just holding. So I I went long again with my stop right there, and I got a nice little pop. So yeah, beautiful. It was holding beautiful way to hold this support resistance level. So previous resistance became support. Pop, took partials on the way up, and then I got all out when it lost that momentum. So yeah, that was my trade on AMD. Then I took one more trade on EMPH that didn't work out, but I'll show you exactly what I saw here. So as you can see, this thing was just wedging up. This is an ascending triangle, and as you can see, it's just creating higher highs, higher lows, pulling back. Just the price action here was just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And what I was expecting here, um, which is why I took it long, as you can see, is I was hoping that this thing was going to break out and could potentially get to these levels. It was going to make a good risk reward if it had worked out the way that I wanted it to, the way I thought it was going to. So I was expecting it to break out of that wedge. So yeah, it ended up not working out, got stopped out, but I'll show you where my entry was and where my stop was, as you can see. So there was a little bit of slippage on this. I took it long right there. I had my stop right there, and this thing just ticked me out, and I had a little bit of slippage. But nonetheless, I probably would have taken that trade over and over again. It looked pretty good, it looked pretty decent. It looked like the price action was getting tighter. Just didn't work out. But other than that, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it at the bottom, and I will get to you as soon as I can. Happy trading, everyone.